So I made a post and asked you guys what questions you have about the Godzilla Vengeance series. You guys gave me questions and I told you I'd answer them. So here we go. First with Massilla, who asked what Vengeance vs. Godzilla's most powerful enemy or most dangerous enemy is and what his abilities are. Currently, his most dangerous enemies that we've seen are Destroya, obviously. That's really the only enemy that's been able to actually challenge him so far. However, Void Ghidorah will be an opponent soon. Monster X, King Ghidorah, Gigan, Megalon, all of them will pop up. Currently, the most powerful out of all of those would be the Vengeance Verse variant of Void Ghidorah, as he is going to be far, far more powerful than his canon counterpart, and will have pretty much all the abilities of every version of King Ghidorah we've ever seen, including Kaiju that are related to King Ghidorah but aren't actually King Ghidorah, like Monster X or Disadora. Overall, this version of Void Ghidorah in particular is going to be a threat that requires pretty much all the Godzilla monsters in the Vengeanceverse series to team up to fight. Next is from Shinji Ikari, YL8GAW. Who's your favorite character in your series? As of right now, probably Destroya, just because this version of Destroya is a lot different than the actual canon one, and I have a lot planned for him in the future. But there's also a couple OC Kaiju that will pop up later that I've definitely like, and obviously I'm a fan of my own version of Godzilla in this, but ultimately I like pretty much every Kaiju in the series quite a bit. And I plan on giving them their own personalities and making them different from their canon counterparts while remaining true to the originals. Next from Gamera-Boy69, will we see Ghidorah? Well, we just got a brief glimpse of him in the last episode, but yes, we are going to be seeing a lot of Ghidorah, especially in Season 2. So yes, he is going to survive Season 1. Season 1 has been mainly about destroying Godzilla and their past, and basically just them fighting so far. There is a lot more story to be added there. But Season 2 will focus heavily on not just Ghidorah, but his entire species, and it will be when Void Ghidorah pops up, as well as Monster X, Disadora, and many of the Ghidorah's own kind. We also get a history on how his species functions in this version of the Godzilla universe, and Ghidorah will end up becoming a main character in that series. Whether he's a good guy or a bad guy is yet to be seen. Next from Narpajira, are you going to be doing scaling for him after being done? I'm assuming he means for Vengeance vs. Godzilla. Yes, I am going to be scaling him after I'm done, but I'm also going to be scaling him throughout the series. I will be making a scaling video on Vengeanceverse very soon, and I have a pretty good idea of how powerful Vengeance vs. Godzilla is. You're going to notice him and Heisei Godzilla are pretty close most of the time, but he also takes some things from stuff like Godzilla in Hell, Godzilla Rage Across Time, and Godzilla Final Wars, as well as the Monsterverse. He takes stuff from a bunch of Godzilla series, but mainly the Heisei era. So you'll notice a lot of his power and feats are connected to Heisei Godzilla, with some stuff torn from other series. But yeah. Also from Narfajira, are you going to be doing a Heisei manga or a Millennium manga scale? Maybe. Heisei manga and the Heisei movies are usually pretty consistent with each other. I haven't really checked out the Millennium mangas that much yet, but I'm pretty sure the Millennium mangas are a little bit higher than the actual Millennium movies. Also, am I going to be doing Heisei Godzilla vs. Son Goku? I feel like if I had Goku from Dragon Ball Super or GT versus Heisei Godzilla, it'd basically just be this exact same video that Goji Chronic already did on that subject. So probably not them. However, Xeno Goku, I know Goji Chronic did a video on it. I don't agree with that video in its entirety. That said, I don't think I'm going to be doing a video on Xeno Goku vs. Heisei Godzilla anytime soon. The main reason for that is when you look at what Xeno Goku can do, he's essentially an anti-Heisei Godzilla. He blatantly outscales him in base, usually, and he has abilities that essentially nullify the Infinite Heat Ray, which is kind of Heisei Godzilla's trump card usually. So that whole video would essentially just be saying Heisei Godzilla gets stomped. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be doing a video on that. I might if things change. And if, let's say, like, Gemstone becomes part of the Heisei era, and maybe there's some new feats there eventually, but since Xeno Goku's only getting stronger and Heisei Godzilla is staying the same, I feel like it'd just be a boring video. That's not to say I don't plan on doing any Godzilla vs. Dragon Ball content. I have a couple videos, matchups for King Ghidorah vs. Frieza, Destroya vs. Beerus, and a couple others. But if I do ever do a Heisei Godzilla vs. Goku, it'd probably be a compilation video for Heisei Godzilla at every point in his series versus Goku at every point in his own series, which I think would be a far more entertaining video than just one version versus another. With all the questions answered, I figured I'd go ahead and comment on the video suggestion post I made earlier. First one's from T-Fighter with Monsterverse versus the SCP versus. Okay. Problem with that is SCP is not only incredibly hard to scale, but SCP pretty much usually blatantly upscales the Monsterverse by a massive margin, but I'll think about it, I guess. Next from My Name's Jeff. They did go into more detail in this one and explain it was Gamera, Rebirth Gamera that they were talking about. Basically, they want to see how far Gamera would last in Monsterverse. I do actually plan on making this one. I haven't actually watched Gamera Rebirth yet, but I do plan on doing that. And I'm honestly excited to do some Gamera scaling versus Monsterverse scaling. Next from Ritz Jack, scaling Go Godman or Zone Fighter. They've asked this already before, but I'm pretty sure it was just Go Godman last time. This one I probably will make at some point, but both of those are, let's just say scaling for them can be a little absolutely insane at points, but I will make it eventually. So rest assured that video will come out eventually. Then from Kaiju Fan 10, Rhedosaurus versus the R-Giga, so a kaiju older than Godzilla himself, versus one of the most insane video game dinosaurs of all time. This matchup's actually really cool. They both have advantages on each other, and I'm actually going to do it. This might be the first video where I go back on my older video where I made I think it was Johnny Homicidal Maniac versus Frisk from Undertale, where it was like a death battle style, where I went to an explanation of what the characters could do within that animation. That's probably what I'll do for this one, just because I think it's a very complex matchup and I like it a lot. So yeah, I'm definitely doing that one. Now from Arthur Durate 30, sorry if I mispronounced that horribly. Scaling Godzilla Rage Across Time. I'm definitely doing this one. What a lot of people seem to not understand about Godzilla Rage Across Time is the Greek gods in that are actually, they're literally supposed to be the real Greek gods. Meaning scaling Rage Across Time means scaling actual Greek mythology, which is some absolutely insane scaling, and it sounds really crazy, and I'm definitely doing it. I honestly want to see how powerful Rage Across Time Godzilla is myself, because I think he gets downplayed quite a bit. So yeah, definitely making that one. Some final things for this video. The Godzilla tournament is still going on. Godzilla, Slick's Godzilla versus Godzilla in Hell, or Stan Winston's Godzilla versus Zilla will be the next fight. And yes, the Godzilla comedy will be continuing, but I am writing some scripts out for that, and I'm deciding which episodes I want to do in which order, as that series is kind of the one that takes me the longest time to actually think about what I'm going to do with it, even though it usually just devolves into complete chaos. But yes, both of those will be continuing, and I intend to continuing them for quite some time. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.